Good morning from Western New York. Football weather. I'm Mike Schopp. Today should be interesting with all the cuts happening around the NFL. We'll discuss it. No Jacob Sanderson today. It's myself and our slappies, Pat Kerrane, Davis Mattek, our heroes. 9 days to the season opener. This is ADP Chasing, August 26th, 2025.
ADP chasing is for when you watch ship chasing, you go, these guys are just football guys.
I have my 4% exposure blanket.
Stay poor.
Actually back in if it's Ashane.
Stare into our crystal ball. Close your eyes, all your entries are going to lose anyway.
Yeah, that's fair.
You're not going to tell me how this went. I was here.
It's anti-cabal. It's the best ball thought leaders. I'm obviously lying to some degree because I have a lot of both of these guys.
It's the most disgusting pick you can make. But man.
Good morning, friends. I've been in Louisville for a few days, or Southern Indiana, I guess, technically, for the Kentucky Fantasy Football State Championships. Really fun. I met some fans of yours.
You're in Southern Indiana?
I was yesterday.
Okay.
Yes.
The Southern Indiana State Championships?
It's the Kentucky Fantasy Football State Championships in Southern Indiana. Yes, technically.
Southern Indiana. Okay.
But so many people, 5, came up to me to say, actually, Pete in the Discord, I think sarcastically, was like, people went up to you and said, "Are you Mike Schopp from ADP Chasing?" I'm like, literally, yes. That's what people said. One gentleman named Tom was very complimentary. And I'm like, yeah, my guys are really smart and great and so much fun to be with. And then he said something like, they must make things really easy for you. I'm like, well, I wouldn't exactly say that. But it was a great weekend.
That's
and it's
really
redraft season.
If we're making it easy for you, what's the point?
I'm supposed to make it easier for you, I think.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
Davis with the Seals jersey. Look at this.
It's not as it's because it's so big. It's not great. But there, I did get my California Golden Seals jersey.
Love it. That was a real team.
That's a sweet jersey.
It is.
Yeah, real team. So I looked them up. They were like a real team, but no longer exist.
I believe they're the San Jose Sharks now.
Okay.
I believe they.
No.
Is that wrong?
No. They might have become the Rockies, then the Devils, or maybe they went the Barons to the somethings route. But the Sharks were brand new when they came into the league in the early 90s, and that's today's edition.
Schopp is correct. They then became the Cleveland Barons, and then they became defunct.
The Kansas City Scouts, then the Minnesota North Stars, then the Dallas Stars eventually.
So I did learn this though, which is that looking for this gear, which is that the San Jose Sharks every year they do a California Golden Seals night, so you can get Sharks/Seals merchandise on eBay.
They were the Oakland Seals, and the Knoxes wanted to own them, I think, or get into NHL expansion. Then they settled for the Sabres, something like that.
Sad.
All right. Again,
I really get how Tuttle feels now. It's almost nice when you guys talk hockey because there's messages I haven't. It's early in the morning here. It's 7 a.m. So I'm catching up on some Discord messages, and
it's like you guys talking Pokemon.
Yeah.
Has enough, before we get into the many things there are to talk about today, has enough been said about our main event draft, which was the last time we were on together? I've heard you both say separately that you have warmed up to this team.
I was always warm. I was warm to the team from the beginning.
Lukewarm or?
Warm.
So obviously we should have taken Kyron over Travion. I'm sorry.
I don't think so, man. I was listening to
bros.
To Jordan Rodriguez, who's been going around to the various camps as part of her new gig with The Athletic. And her takeaway from Patriots camp was that Travion Henderson is live to win Rookie of the Year. It just looks absolutely amazing. And she actually thinks he's going to have a big role right away, which I've been worried about, that maybe he would.
I think he's going to have a big role right away. My concern is that we are doing this thing where we are upgrading the Patriots offense, but in upgrading them, we're taking them from the 28th best offense last year to the 9th best offense this year. And I'm wondering if it's more the 14th best offense. And
I don't think we're upgrading them to the 9th best offense. I mean, their pieces are all really cheap.
We just took their passing down specialist in the 3rd round.
Well, that's what I mean. If he's not their passing down specialist, then it's a different play. And it sounds like my thinking was he's not going to be their passing down specialist the whole year. He's so much more talented than Ramondre Stevenson. But what if he's actually producing pretty well out of the gate?
May I present to you their first 13 games?
Please.
That's a lot of games.
Raiders, Dolphins, Steelers at home, Carolina at the Bills. Maybe they're losing. New Orleans, Tennessee, Cleveland. Atlanta, Tampa, Jets, Bengals, Giants. I mean, that's past Thanksgiving.
Yeah. No, that is better than I would have. That's better than I would have.
That's pretty good. There could be a few defenses in there that are kind of scary. Browns defense could be good. Like it's
don't have to start them every week, Pat,
because they're like they can't score points on offense and the defense is good, and but yeah, no one in there really makes you nervous.
Well, we got the closing line value as you predicted on Ja'Cory Crosky-Merritt at 8.10. I never see him go this late.
That's what anymore. That's what I was just looking.
That really was that felt almost obvious. Like, yes. Oh God, what a slappy pick to take this dude who everyone's excited about. And then it's the FFPC. Like we've done this so long.
I was gonna say, yeah, we
know this happens. And this year's Darwin Thompson and stuff. Darwin Thompson was like the 3rd string running back on the Chiefs. He was like barely, like it was all just like hope that one day he could become Ja'Cory Crosky-Merritt. Like, and he did go here. He went like in the 7th round, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We took Justice Hill, who was not even close to the starter, in the 8th round of a main event that year. Like, you have to pay any of these running backs who have buzz. You have to pay for it, and usually it's buzz where they're gonna earn roles later. Buzz that gets a guy a role week 1 is like, I don't know. This guy might be in the 4th round of August of live drafts. And
do you guys realize though that this is not even our biggest win at running back on the team?
I'll set you up. Let me set you up. Hopefully you're both sitting down on this very much panned main event draft. We are looking at rounds 8 through, basically kicker and defense. There are 4 running backs, and we have 3 week 1 starters and McCaffrey's handcuff.
Like Ollie Gordon, I would say there is a chance that Ollie Gordon should potentially be going ahead of JCM right now. Just straight up.
There's still time.
Crane, you know what, Crane, you know what this reminds me of very much? This reminds me of, it's funny that we're talking about Brian Robinson on this team. This reminds me of when Brian Robinson was a prospect back in the day. Ollie Gordon is going to be just like such a perfectly freaking cromulent NFL running back. He's going to be I actually think he is going to be awesome as a between the tackles runner for this team, because that's like the one thing he could, like his long speed. He's not going to play on any passing downs, but he's going to be better than Mostert, better than Jeff Wilson Jr., better than Jalen Wright at the stuff that A-Chain can't do. I think this is a total Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery situation in a way that is super complimentary. Like I think Gordon can just be, if the Dolphins can just, I know the vibes have not been good. If the Dolphins can just be fine, Gordon is going to score a lot of points.
I think part of it for me is that I think the reason for the Montgomery comp there is that Gordon is big.
Yeah.
But he's not that style of runner. He's actually a breakaway runner.
43% breakaway rate in 2023, I believe.
And a 41% career success rate, which is really low. So the style is that's a 20th percentile success rate. He handled a big workload. He's still 44th percentile in successful runs per game.
Is that including all the 2024 data?
It is. Yeah, it's his career.
All the 2024
It includes 2023, which was his career year.
Yeah.
75th percentile breakaway percentage. So his success when he was good, it was because he was ripping off long runs.
And he's a
freight train, right? Like he's a gigantic man. So it's Derrick Henry stuff. It's, Deontay Foreman, maybe a bit more realistic version. But yeah, I mean, he's someone that I think can be a good running back. I'm not sure that he's like perfectly suited to be this like grinding,
the battering
consistent battering ram, like the David Montgomery thing. So I'm a little skeptical of that. I get why he's rising. He's gonna pass Jalen Wright like for the season. Wright
I was gonna
come back and be I'm
betting. I'm like betting on the come here. This is like you've got 7-8 suited and you have 9-10 and 4 to a flush as well on the turn. It's like, okay, well, you lose that hand.
These casino references. Holy
you
cow,
you lose that hand all the time. But like I can see it enough with him with the 2023 stats and just like the size. And I actually before this, I was watching his preseason stuff, and I thought the way they used him in some of the preseason stuff was kind of interesting because they did do some battering ram stuff with him. They were like, well, let's just see what happens. Just run him through the tackles. And there were 2 runs that were like awful, like consecutive runs back to back that were just like, oh, dude, you had no chance there. And then 2 after that, he had a touchdown that is like very preseason where he just like launched himself into the end zone. And I was like, well, A-Chain is not doing that. Or A-Chain, like the A-Chain is not doing, and he looked huge. He just looked massive out there. So like the last, what do we have, 9 days or whatever right here. I'm like, Crane, I've been taking him in the eliminator because I have all these eliminator slows that are between like the 10th and 14th round right now. I'm like, well, one, Achane might not play week 1. I mean, I think he probably will, but he might not at the Colts. So I think that I am like, I actually think he's an eliminator ass pick to some degree, but he's got like, and obviously it's so easy before the season to be optimistic on these guys that haven't failed you yet. And Ollie Gordon has not failed me yet. And maybe this will
guess you didn't play college football.
I did. No, I did. So I lived, but I actually didn't end up drafting very much of him just because structurally I prefer to take quarterback earlier. So I did not draft very much of him.
Can I please just clarify one thing in a world where Seals has become sort of like a brand, that when Davis says betting on the come, he's referring to the game of craps. And I'm not sure this viewership is young enough to appreciate that because he went right into blackjack. But betting on the come is a craps term.
Well, yeah. I've always heard it as a poker term.
Okay. Well, it is literally the word come is on.
I mean, it is. I was gonna say it literally is. It literally is from craps. I frankly for casino games don't. I'm a poker guy, and then if they don't have a poker table, I do roulette. The other games it's like too overstimulating for me.
Yeah,
craps. I've played. I was with someone who actually like understood the game, and it's fun, but I don't know how to play. Like I couldn't just show up at a craps table and
you and me.
I gotta play with someone who knows what's going on.
As somebody with an 11/7 birthday, this is the game I was born to play. And it's also behind the line in craps is the best odds in the casino. Not that they're great, but they're better than any other game in the house. Before we move on, which we should, who sets these lineups? This is going to be a very tricky team. I know Stephanie is involved with the waivers. She might run it. But, I mean, seriously, guys, Crosky-Merritt, Chubb, Gordon even. Of course, we have Gibbs too. That could be really, and Henderson. It could be the first week of many dicey weeks and trying to figure out what to do lineup wise.
I mean, I think we're starting Chubb, right? Chubb will
at the Rams.
Chubb will project for the most points of that group,
but by a fraction, maybe. What if
Achane's out? No real upside of any. I mean, I guess the upside is he punches in some touchdowns, but the offensive line sucks.
He could score. He could score 12.
Yeah.
If Achane is out, Gordon.
If Achane is out, we're starting Gordon.
Yeah. Yes. Gordon. If Achane's out, it's Gordon.
If Achane's out, we're starting Gordon. But I mean, the reason I was sort of skeptical of the Gordon point you're making, Davis, about how he should go against Corey Crosky-Merritt is like he's behind. If Achane's in, he's like fully just his backup, I think.
Backup in the sense. I mean, Crane, you wrote the Legendary Absurd article yesterday, and you highlighted the Achane legendary upside, it being 13 carries a game. Like there's work there.
There's work. You're right. But I mean, what are we talking about? Like he's gonna have like 6 carries, seven
They
carries?
have to be terrible. They have to be not.
They have to be not terrible.
Yeah,
but possible.
I think
his round 16.
Yeah.
I just wish.
But Bill, I guess what I'm saying is I think Bill is probably who I would be tempted to start if we don't have Gordon.
Okay. Week one.
Just take the leap of faith.
McConkey, Olave, Samuel with Daniels. We'll want to feel like we have to do that.
Do we have to start one of those running backs? Can't we? Can we go McConkey?
No, we do not have to start any of them. I'm gonna guess that Trevion Henderson is gonna project for 8.9 points week.
We're not starting Nick Chubb over Trevion Henderson. I'm saying that right now.
You know, I am. Don't shoot the messenger.
But again,
I'm never been more happy that Jacob is on this team than when we're now discussing Nick Chubb or Trevion Henderson week 1.
And sadly, he couldn't be here. How do we decide though? Is the question I need to understand.
I almost always defer to aggregated projections unless there's a real reason to think that they're particularly fragile for a reason. And Ja'Cory Crosky-Merritt's projection, I bet between sources, like between one projection source to the other, you're going to find like 4 to 5 point discrepancies in how much JCM is being projected for.
Yeah. If the projections favor Nick Chubb over Trevion Henderson week 1, then Leg Up is going to launch 1 week of
1 week, 1 week only Houston Texans doing
1 week only
projections.
We're not projecting the other side of the game. We're just doing those two offenses.
You're playing team 4. Let's say Philadelphia bombs. I know. Hurts, Smith, Goddard. Then we're playing it safer. Maybe it's a Chubb situation there.
That's a good point, Mike.
Is Crosky-Merritt getting their first snap? Who's getting their first snap? They play the Giants at home.
Cut Nick Chubb than start him. And you know what, McNova, you're right.
Let's pick up Damian
Pierce.
Eckler's the first running back on the field, you think?
Yeah.
Eckler's probably the first running back on the field, or Chris Rodriguez. I would say that Bill is a pretty big underdog to be the first running back on the field.
I don't know, man. I'm not buying. I just have kind of been doing a Chris Rodriguez deep dive in the last 2 weeks. I'm actually not at all convinced that they even give a shit about this guy. They have cut and waived him. They have cut or assigned him to the practice squad. He's been on the team for 2 years. They've cut him 6 times. So I really don't think they care about Chris Rodriguez.
It's interesting that Crosky-Merritt is like everybody's. I just did these 4 high stakes in Kentucky. He's everybody's clear-cut first Washington running back. And what has he actually done? Like the community has decided, as I guess, this was more of a leverage bet.
He took a job in training camp.
Right. That's right. They've decided that he is A, good, B, their favorite, C, I mean, they left Robinson to dust. Like, the community has decided that this is the bet to make. I mean, Rodriguez, here's Dan Quinn talking about goal line stuff. It's Jaden Daniels' team, and he's going around 16. And here's Crosky-Merritt going in around 5 yesterday. I mean, it's just like we have decided that, I guess, Eckler is mostly irrelevant. Rodriguez is like what Davis is describing. And Crosky-Merritt is like, a bet where you can find gold.
I'll see if I can pull it up here. I did a quick search. I couldn't find it. There was a clip going around like a full month ago now, or 3 weeks anyway, of various beat reporters at camp. And there's like 7 people interviewed. I think actually Ben Standig was not one of them. And they asked them who the standout at Commanders camp has been. And like 4 of 6 people said Ja'Cory Crosky-Merritt. And one of the dudes was like, he's going to be their starter by December. Like this is very obvious. And that so that is a thing that was going, and that wasn't the only, that was just an example of like the level of training camp hype that he was generating. You were seeing it in all sorts of, just like Commanders camp was becoming about this 7th round rookie in a way that's really rare. And then you also have this story of they're getting rid of Brian Robinson and they're going to trade him for a 6th round pick, their starting running back. those two things are not like separate, uncorrelated events. They moved on from Robinson, maybe because they didn't think he was a good fit for the system and they didn't really like what he did last year. But not just that. They did it because they felt like we have the guy who can do what we want from Robinson, and he's not delivering. So let's go ahead and move on, and let's clear the runway for this rookie. He is the reason, fundamentally, that they traded Brian Robinson. And so therefore, like, that is what he's done. He's gotten them to trade their starting running back by having that strong of a camp. That's
on a team that went to the NFC Championship. On a team that went to the NFC Championship. Is it Jacksonville and Fournette then?
I mean, it might be Tampa Bay and Fournette. Like, it might be like
we got somebody else who's cheaper. He's not a headache. Maybe Robinson. There's
I see. You're right. James Robinson. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, is it?
Yes.
You guys want me to draw the most obvious historical parallel to this situation?
Please. Yes.
2012, the Washington football team has a backfield of Tim Hightower, Roy Helu, Evan Royster, and Alfred Morris. Tim Hightower is like a 7th round pick for most of the offseason. People are also drafting Roy Helu. Alfred Morris smashes in the preseason, doesn't play in preseason week 4, guarantees his roster spot. I believe the Tim Hightower just gets waived. Alfred Morris generates 335 rushes, 1,600 rushing yards, and 13 touchdowns, while Roy Helu is injured and doesn't play, and Evan Royster is the reserve back. This was, I believe, Robert Griffin's second year. The famous thing about history is that it's like poetry, it rhymes. It doesn't necessarily always. I think if you can see patterns like this, I don't know, man. I just, frankly, I think one thing we know, Gretsch, I always reference this thing that Gretsch did, and I have to go back and find the article, but Gretsch did this maybe 3 off seasons ago, did this big analysis of like preseason risers never rise enough.
Yeah.
And the starting point that Gretsch worked from was, I believe, Arian Foster, when he got up to be a 4th round pick the year that he led the NFL in rushing. And yeah, sometimes you are going to be buying the absolute Toporino on Roy Helu Jr., but missing, like, getting 90% Roy Helu's for getting 10% Alfred Morris's or Doug Martin's or Arian like that's a generation. I mean, we're talking like you get one of these guys once every 5 years, really. They do not. There was 0 of these last year. No, right? Kyron Williams the year before. I can't think of an example the year before.
Well, it's Isaiah Pacheco, but they trade CEH.
Isaiah Pacheco, but they trade. Wow, Corain. See, this is why he's the $1 million man. That's a better comp, I think, in terms of like expected scoring. Like, I don't think JCM is going to score 17 points per game. Probably more like 12, but that's pretty freaking good.
Yeah, no, that's what it is. It's not like, and there's a cap to where I would take him, but it's not the 8th round in the FFPC where every running back is priced up. Like, yeah, he's. I don't know. I did find the clip here. Let me share that. This is from July 28th. This is
I remember
a month
this.
ago.
Yeah.
All right.
We're about to go back in the annals of history. I looked, by the way, 6% of JCM in the big board.
Ooh, that's probably good.
That is good. That's really good. All right, here we go. Grant Paulson. I grabbed some media members during practice and asked them who stood out the most so far in training camp. Lots of love for
preseason is running back to Corey Crosky-Merritt. Just because, like, it's really hard to tell out here without pads on what he can do, but you see the decisive cuts. On film, you saw the violent nature of his runs. Watching him run some pass routes looks pretty good. So I think he's someone that I'm really intrigued by, just because there's mystery there. He didn't play last year at Arizona except for 1 game. What can he do? He's the guy that I want to see.
This is John Kime.
Oh, here's Ben Stanek.
Camp standout guy to watch. I'm going to stay on the same train to Corey Crosky-Merritt. He just had a play a few minutes ago. They're in pads. He runs he runs horizontal, sees a hole, blasts up the hole, sees there's Tyler Owens, slams into him. boom, keeps his balance, keeps going. I think he's got the wiggle that they need in that backfield. Whether he can play, we'll see.
The point is made.
It goes on like that. It goes on like that.
It goes on like that.
I mean,
one of the dudes says he'll be their starter.
When we're out at camp, we're so excited to tell you about the guy that wasn't obvious how good he looks. Like in Buffalo, it's Tyrell Shavers. You know, you got to watch out. That's sort of like a win. The media, I think, they have that sort of instinct to give you somebody that isn't obvious. Like, you're not going to go to Tennessee camp and be like, oh, Cam Ward actually is the guy I'm watching the most here. This year. He's the 101 overall. But still, we're in. That's true. Your point when we picked him 8-10 in that main event. Watch what happens, and he has gone up, and it's an exciting.
Prospect. we legitimately got closing line value on that.
On a guy that was going undrafted a month earlier.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exciting. Well, also exciting is Pete's absolute tour de force. You'll like that, Davis, as a Restive History Club member.
Oh,
as am I.
What?
So can I ask behind the curtain a little bit? Is he just how does he have the Liam stream with the menu to start? Is he just cataloging all summer on things he might use later? It's incredible.
I'm guessing that Mr. Lenars was a big part of the cataloging.
Look at us.
In terms of like getting clips from Liam's stream.
Do you have an official comment, either of you, on your roles in this video?
Absolutely no. Couldn't possibly be more pleased with my role.
What flattery! Video. What flattery! I mean, really.
Yeah, I thought the Davis impression was a little stretched, but now it seems pretty dead on.
I mean, he gets a 2-minute rap video at the end of the thing. I mean, that's high praise.
I saw a couple people being like, "Oh, you're really a good sport," and I'm like, guys, this is literally made for me. Like, I'm dying laughing at this. Like, nothing could possibly be more funny to me than Pete doing like bits inside of bits inside of bits inside of bits. Like, just unbelievably
amazing
funny stuff.
You said you showed your wife. By the way, I showed mine, and she sat there for the full 16 minutes, and she's lying on the couch next to me. And when it ends, she sort of turns her head toward me. She goes, "I didn't understand one word of it."
I did not show my wife the entirety. I just showed her sacrilegiouses, sack and the seals, sack and the slaps.
Amazing.
So I just showed her the end bit, and her primary comment was, "Seals are very cute."
And they are.
They are.
They're getting a little bit of a bad rap here because they're inherently blind in our sort of branding of the
kind of being blind kind of makes them cuter, I think.
Well, I guess maybe that's fair. Yeah, that might be fair.
The execution of the of Drew Davenport is probably my favorite part of the whole video.
No one cares about Addison.
That was so funny.
Oh my gosh.
No one cares about Addison.
When he's at the diner and he's being held up, look at the words on the signs on the register in the back. JCM. I mean, the reference to not thinking of him in the bathroom. Just incredible things.
Yeah.
You can watch that. You can watch that 50 times and see something. It's like a great movie.
The best bit in terms of the creativity of everything was the sidekick, though, was Patty Crane. I mean, that was just that was the funniest character. Pete as the customer service lady was the funniest character.
Yeah,
picture in picture.
I did answer customer support emails right after watching the unironic. Like, that just is what happened yesterday. I went and answered emails. I watched the video and then I answered emails.
What a great job! I mean, I'm honored. The clip curse. The clip curse. Quickly before we get into the meat here, it's been half an hour. Laviska Shenault cut in Buffalo today. That's all happening right now. Maybe he gets to the practice squad.
Zach, please.
Harold Fannin. Sounds good.
There's a reason that Drake May never got a clip. I'll say that.
You protected him?
I protected him.
You did?
Yeah.
You guys have that? You have like one chip you can play to protect your favorites?
Well, it would have been me, right? It would have been me pushing. Historically, we've the clips have been either Pete's made them or I've made the Dulcich one. But Zach made the Fannin one. But I don't think Zach made a clip for us last year. So it would have been, we would have had to request it anyway. And I never requested it. It would have been me to request, but I protected Drake. Let the record show.
I'm trying to think, like, is there an obvious candidate for the secondary clip this year after Fannin? Like, in terms of someone,
Henderson.
Actually, no, I know who it is, and it's just like the most obvious guy to add to this list in terms of like, well, who could have seen that not working out? It's Luther Burden.
Oh yeah, or Corey Crosky-Merritt.
I was gonna say like
Facial Tootin.
Oh yeah, it's Tootin. It
probably is Tootin.
It's Tootin. Yeah, because I think that he is amongst.
Burden's more like the guy I'm pushing, but Tootin's the dude like ship chasing.
We all
podium.
I was gonna say we all like him.
Yeah.
Yep. We did just get a super chat from a man from Norway. And I would like to address this. I would like to call out the cowards. I mean, I think you can just play the ADP game, but
great call out so far.
Great call out.
Really
I would. This is what I want to say. This is what I'd like to say. CMC as the 107 literally makes no sense. He should either be the 101 or he should be like going where like James Cook goes. You know what I'm saying? Like
when he was the 112, I agreed with this point. I don't think I agree with it now. I don't like. He should be. He's like what 29. He did miss time last year. We haven't seen. It's 2 years ago that he had the great, unbelievable season. It's 1 year ago that Saquon Barkley had the unbelievable season. So,
right.
Why can't Barkley go ahead of him?
Because in a fully healthy season, CMC is just going to outscore Barkley by a lot.
He might, but like he is a bit older now, so it's and they just got Robinson. Maybe they
Here's a good one. I looked this up yesterday on stream.
You're probably right, though. He'll outscore him.
He's just going to easily outscore him. Yeah, more expected points last year. Saquon Barkley or Devin Achane?
Like per game?
No, total, cumulative, expected points. Not actual points, expected points.
Achane.
Gotta be.
Yeah. No, and you just, if you told that to someone off the street, they'd be like, first off, expected points. I don't get points for that.
Wait, expected, it's Achane or McCaffrey? Who was the other person?
Achane or Barkley.
Oh, Barkley. That's why I was so confused.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it would be Achane because he got all the receptions.
Yep.
Yeah. No, Barkley, I was kind of, when I did the Legendary Upsides article, I was like blown away by how many touchdowns Barkley scored from distance. Like,
it was like all of them.
Yeah, but it was like, I believe he had 6 or 7 touchdowns from, it was 7. It was 7 touchdowns last year. This includes the playoffs.
Right.
So in 19 games. But he had 18 touchdowns last year. 7 of them were from 60 plus yards away. That's crazy.
Is that the first play of the NFC Championship? Maybe one of them.
I mean, he was
right away.
Yeah, but the thing. So then I'm like thinking, like, a lot of times, and Ben's made this point with stuff over the years. It's like, yeah, well, the guy's like some of this stuff with the high value. It's like, oh, he's got like this dude had like 6 high value touches. It's like, yeah, because he got stuffed at the 2 twice and then scored, and then
we call that. You know what we call that? We call that the Joe Mixon.
Yeah, the Joe Mixon. Like, oh, dude, look at his expected value. He's expected to score like 45 points. Like, well, he got 2. The max he could have scored was 12. But the reverse of that is like Barkley could have been tackled at the 1, and then all of a sudden his expected points rise because he gets the goal line carry. Does he? Doesn't that go to Hurts?
Yeah, it goes to Hurts. I'd like to return to something that absolutely tilted me. I'll just never forget. This was like about as bad as it gets. This was in I believe this was week 14 last year. So this was the last like teetering to see if you could possibly win anything. The Philadelphia Eagles are just absolutely killing the Los Angeles Rams. The score is so Barkley scores a big long touchdown to
in LA
quarter in LA. Kenny Gainwell scores. The game is over. It's 27-14. It's 30-14. And then the score is 30-14 with 3 minutes left. Barkley is in there, and Barkley scores a 72-yard touchdown. And it's just like, all right, I get it. It's not my year, bro. I just remember that was like the most tilting one where I was just like, all right, man.
Somebody in a basketball game with a 25-point lead dunks on you to close it.
Yes.
Win by 27.
Yep.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I literally just saw Davis getting dunked on and just going like, what are we
enough
doing?
Come on,
the
man.
pain enough.
Yeah,
it's the holidays.
Yeah,
let's Pat, if you want, jump ahead to slide 5. We've kind of covered Washington.
This tweet's a little hard to read here. The Fannin is next to a tweet here that says, not exactly sure how to say this, but up until this weekend, I think the past failures / bit nature of the slappy picks, Sky Moore, Laviska Shenault, etc., was making people overlook Harold Fannin, who was actually a really good pick. So it's not that he was drafted in the 3rd round. It's not that he went to Bowling Green. It's not that he's a backup tight end. It's that we made the clip.
My cousin, Harold Luther Fannin.
That's why the market hasn't gotten on board
this,
yet.
This is the funniest tweet in maybe not the funniest tweet in basketball history. It's one of the top 10 funniest ones in basketball history.
It's pretty good, man. I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
All right. We can move on.
If you want to jump ahead to slide 5, the risers with we've kind of covered Washington and Mixon. So let me run down 3.
Well, we probably have covered all of this. We've covered all of this.
Let's just do Guerendo and Brian Robinson real quick.
Okay.
No, you don't get paid for bag protecting on Isaac Guerendo, who until like 3 days ago was my most drafted player. Totally over now. Only thing I can do is cut my losses on Isaac Guerendo. Just like truly not taking him.
The injury. I mean, you might have been okay there.
Might have been okay, but he gets hurt
on special teams.
Gets hurt on special teams. Kyle Shanahan says we brought in Brian Robinson to be our 2. Now, knowing the haunted burial ground that is the 49ers backfield, does that mean Guerendo's a total 0? You never know.
But you don't draft him anymore.
You don't draft him anymore.
He might not be a total 0. Those bags might not be dead. By not drafting him a single time going forward, you're not saying you definitely burned all that money.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't draft. But he's not a good risk-adjusted bet.
Like I right now would take Brashard Smith over Isaac Guerendo straight.
Oh yeah, easy. I would take Kendre Miller over him, like in a heartbeat.
Marshawn Lloyd.
No.
I
do want to bring this up real quick on Kendre Miller because I'd forgotten. I think a lot of us are tuned out. Kendre Miller did get 2 consecutive starts for the New Orleans Saints last year in Week 16 and Week 17. He generated 14 touches for 18 yards.
So the team is thought to be much improved. So maybe better game scripts. Malachi Corley cut by the Jets, Dulcich by the Giants. You might be watching live and want to know these things. You might be watching, days later and already do and never care.
Kendre Miller just buried by Schopp.
Kendre Miller.
I picked him in Kentucky. I still think, I have a main event with at least one main event with Miller on it. But you want those guys at the end that you can afford to cut. Makes
and you want the guys in. You want like he's a contingent backup, contingent play, locked in backup type of thing that has not been drafted. Like he will be drafted in probably like 3%, 5% of main event or not main event of Best Ball Mania drafts.
Mm-hmm.
So he is the guy. I'm like, hey, this dude's like way more. He's like the same bet or a worse bet than some of these other contingent guys. Like I like DJ Giddens way more, but DJ Giddens has been drafted all summer. He's probably like 90% drafted. So you do get that. And, but that's one of the reasons I would just like, yeah, give me a backup who hasn't been drafted.
If
it happens, it could be a real edge. I'm not taking Guerendo over him.
I've got a real sneaky transaction. Phil Maffa got placed on the injured reserve for the Dallas Cowboys. That basically solidifies their backfield. It's going to be Jaden Blue, Miles Sanders, and Javonte Williams. It's actually super sneaky for Jaden Blue because
low ankle, quote, low ankle.
He said so he said he's fine.
Practice.
This is a classic one where the injury overreactors on X, the Everything app, just are like, he's dead. and then he said he's fine, and then the coach said he's fine, and then he's back at practice. So that means Jaden Blue is going to be like he kind of skipped the A-chain healthy scratch week 1, right?
Probably, yeah.
That is interesting. Miles Sanders healthy enough to be active week 1 or no?
I mean, it's just like he literally is just going to make the team because.
Talk about guys we're not drafting anymore.
Yeah. End it.
A lot of never in doubt type of victory laps. Some more serious than some just in the leg up crew. We're like, when Miles Sanders made the team, I'm like, this is like one of those ones where it was genuinely in doubt.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well,
Miles Sanders. I would take Trevor Etienne straight up right now over Miles Sanders.
We're not drafting Miles Sanders anymore, but we went to Kentucky and did draft Javonte Williams twice and planned to start him week 1.
You know, Javonte Williams is going to be the most just a guy in the National Football League for the first month of the season.
I still can't believe that, knowing like what he must have looked like in practice.
Yep.
That Sean Payton sat him down, made him watch what he used to look like in college, and said, "Please look like this again."
It's crazy.
Davis
So
loves
rude.
the crooked numbers.
You
Week 1,
he just can't do that.
Javonte Williams, 15 for 52 and 1, and 2 catches, 15 fantasy points.
Two catches for 1 yard.
Well, you have to say that 13 fantasy points then, but still, maybe playable.
I mean, frankly, and I promise in no way, I do not think what I'm about to say is cope. This is actually what you wanted to have happen with Jaden Blue. You did not want Maffa to exist. You did not want there to be any other guy with any little bit of intrigue on this.
Right.
Even Deuce Vaughn. Like if somehow Deuce Vaughn is on the 53, it is brutal. His backfield mates being Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders, that is like, when they let that rich guy play in that tennis event like a month ago, Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders are the rich guy in the tennis event. Just here because of your status, but it's just a clear walkover. Like
they're for the F1 fans, they're paid drivers. They're the guy. Yeah. They're Lance Stroll. His dad literally had to buy an F1 team. His dad now owns the Aston Martin team because that's the only way that Lance Stroll can drive an F1 because he stinks.
Yep.
He's actually he's driven so much in F1 that he's kind of become okay, but it's taken him like 10 years of F1 experience.
I was going to say that's like how Javonte became a good passing down specialist.
Yeah,
that was the only way he was going to stick.
He
on
paid
an NFL
for the
roster.
seat.
He paid for the seat by being willing to block Joey Bosa.
Yeah.
This is where Jacob is missed to make 17 points about American politics. We don't.
Oh, that's great point. Great point.
Jacob here for that.
We'll just in right now.
Move ahead.
All right, 48 minutes into the show. Should we do risers?
Risers, yeah. Mixon, I don't know. Not going to be available.
Mixon is probably not going to play in the National Football League again, if I had to guess.
So Aaron Wilson has been completely unreliable on this, and has basically been pushing, in my view, just like literally a mouthpiece for whatever the team wants out there on this particular story. And the team has been lying to us through Aaron Wilson, so he's been very unreliable. But it is interesting to me now, and there was a video going around yesterday that he's saying things like, that he had a procedure and alternate, like I forget exact phrase, but it's like he had an alternate treatment. And the rumors are like basically that he had some horrible botched procedure and it screwed up his foot. And he's like kind of hinting that maybe happened. So I'm pretty sure that happened. And I don't know. I don't think we're going to see much Mixon this year. It doesn't mean Chubb's a necessarily great pick because he looks so washed, but
Chubb was a pretty good pick when you could get him at like actually free at like
right.
round 15 or whatever. I'm happy to do the I know what I don't know on Woody Marks, which is that if Woody Marks was anyone else, if Woody Marks was DJ Giddens, if Woody Marks was Ollie Gordon, if Woody Marks was... Can you imagine if the Texans would have selected Bishal Tootin in the 4th round?
Oh,
I
honestly can't imagine, dude.
He would be a 4-5. He would be a 4-5 turn pick for us at
DJ Giddens. That's the one. Giddens being on the Cowboys or the Texans is just like, it's so easy. It was right there, guys. Like, he was available. He was freaking available, and you took Woody Marks and Jaden Blue.
Functionally, Woody Marks and Jaden Blue are the same thing.
I know. Take Giddens.
I wonder how much Woody. I wonder. I'm checking right now. 1,281 drafts in, 14.3% Woody Marks.
You guys would have drafted more teams. I'll tell you that. Like, my volume would be higher.
Yeah.
You guys always use Giddens, which is fine. You know who we forget about completely that I think you might disagree, but serves the same point is Martinez.
Oh, no, I completely agree. I loved Martinez as a prospect.
I liked Martinez. It sounds like he got beat out, though, for that job.
By Helani.
So,
I mean, Helani was good in college.
Yeah.
And he had moments in the preseason.
I liked Martinez. To me, Martinez was more like Khalil Mullings level, where I'm like, this guy's big and could be fun.
You know who?
Giddens, I don't know.
George
I think
Kalani,
Giddens could be a star.
You know, George Alani was college teammates with.
Who?
Ashton Jeanty outrushed Ashton Jeanty their first year together at Boise
State.
Dude. He's the Jack Besh of running backs.
And so
he's actually above Brian Thomas. Interesting.
Helani, actually, even in Genty's crazy 2023 season, Helani still got 150 touches and 950 scrimmage yards.
Damn, dude.
Let's go. Draft him once. I dare you.
Don't tempt me with a good time, brother.
Yeah, why draft Chubb ahead of Eckler is a good line.
Maybe I am a right wing slappy because I think I see the case for why I would do that.
I think with Chubb, it really should be eliminator, or like I've taken Chubb with Judkins, you know, where I'm like, I need a body, but the body can go away after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, because like they're gonna see Nick Chubb and be like, yeah, let's just play Dameon Pierce.
Or Jaquavius Woody Marks.
Well, I mean, they're going to play Woody Marks probably from the jump, but in a third down role. Woody Marks is not. You breathe on him and he falls over. You can't run him up the middle.
I see you guys in these last week of best ball drafts just drafting Dameon Pierce, all these guys that we just want to have a little piece of. You know, the last 7 picks of your draft.
I might draft Dameon Pierce now. Yeah.
What I've been doing
Davis in the drafter streets.
So I do have him kind of higher on drafters, but what I have been doing with Dameon Pierce, Corinne, I wonder if you're doing this too. When I get to my final 3 picks of these puppy 3 slows that we're in, I just set a queue. I just click some names and press autopilot, and I have been putting Dameon Pierce in that queue of like 10 guys. I'm like, well, whoever the room decides I get.
It is funny because I'm in so many of these puppy 3 slows. I did the entire puppy 3 slow. I did 150 slows, and we're next to each other in a bunch of them. So I've now gotten to the point where I make my pick, and then I'll just keep it there until your auto draft comes in. I can see who Davis wanted.
A lot of TeSlaa, a lot of Brashard Smith, a lot of Jalen Royals. These I went back and reread Sean's Chiefs magnum opus. I mean, it is like 1,200 or 12,000 words. I mean, it's so long, and I was ready to go through a wall for Brashard Smith and Jalen Royals after reading that.
Where are you at on Royals? Because he's missed a bunch of time with knee tendonitis.
Where he was on Royals is offensive rookie of the year dart throw. Just to preface,
right? Yeah. This is for the baseline. That's an important point, Joe. Previously, he was betting on him to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. So,
let's see,
where are you? Where are you now?
No, where I'm at is that I actually think the way that this Rashee Rice suspension worked out is even better for Jalen Royals than just being thrown into the deep end at the beginning of the season, where Rashee Rice is not available for the first month, and they're like, "All right, kid, let's see if you can swim." Because now I think, like, okay, wait for him to play in week 6, that actually feels better to me. I don't know where
I agree. I actually agree with that. Yeah,
that's just
the worst case
what
scenario
they do
right now is that Rice get some settlement and he takes on a 5-game suspension to start the year.
That's pretty bad for Royals because Juju and Taekwon are just going to play over him at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
When is that Rice hearing? Is that September 30th? It's late, right? It's after the season
because it just happened to fit into Sue Robinson's schedule.
I see. Well, that's convenient. Risers, you guys ready? You're warm enough to move on to risers?
Real quick,
not quite yet.
Daniel Tino says that Davis, you're not right wing. You're in 4-dimensional political sphere. Some would consider it horseshoe theory, but you've transcended the slappy plane of existence. A seal. You've reached seal enlightenment.
I'm just the seal, brother. Listen to Davis Mattek, baby.
That line resonated with you, huh?
My WGR show will officially become this show once I use that as a bump.
Yes, it will. Pete gesticulating to his crotch while
that
was just kind of
good. The post credit
over and over.
Mm-hmm.
Risers, I got to get this in before somebody else comments. Ollie Gordon, Travion Henderson, Emeka Ibuka, Keenan Allen, Isaac TeSlaa, Tyler Warren, Braylon Allen, Chigo Okonkwo, Alec Iomenor. That's one name I don't have down yet, but I'm drafting him. I don't have it down yet.
I
don't have it down yet either.
It's Iomenor. It's two.
No, we don't want
OOR.
I blame I was listening to Greg Rosenthal and Daniel Jeremiah. And he asked Daniel Jeremiah, what's the right way? And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, come on. You're the prospect guy. Help us out here.
Io Manor sounds the coolest, right?
Sure.
I need an interview where he pronounces his own name.
Just, what I would do on the air is go YouTube search and find his college highlights. But I did that with HN, and he was always HN.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that you can't. With something like this, you can't use the college highlights because they'll also be wrong. Because with HN was he had to come out and be like, by the way, now that I've had a big game and you guys care who I am, it's HN.
All right, there we go. Our boy Roster Watch, who definitely would know, he would have been boots on the ground at the Senior Bowl and at the Combine, says it's A.O. Manor.
A.O.
Manor.
Let's go. And I assume it's Alec.
Yes. This list of players, Schopp,
yes.
Gordon, Henderson, Ibuka, Keenan, TeSlaa, Warren, Braylon Allen, Chigo Okonkwo, and A.O. Manor. I am buying the Toporino on every last one of these guys. Just absolutely slurping the Toporino on literally I'm looking at this and I'm like, I think I've taken all those guys in a draft today ahead of their average draft position. By the way, I'm glad that we got to talk about Keenan Allen today because I read this great article on legendaryupside.com. Don't know if you guys have heard of it. Matt Irby wrote an article today using some advanced data on
I almost didn't allow this on the site.
Breaking routes. And
literally all players I'm fading. I'm kidding, of course. It's a very good article, but it's literally it's like Cortland Sutton, Calvin Ridley, and all these guys who are on these route trees where they break horizontally,
where they get fantasy points.
And it was like the saddest I've ever been. And I was editing this article, God damn it.
It was I had the same reaction to everyone on that list, other than Keenan Allen, because I have been buying.
Yes,
I've been buying all of it. I was Dipperinoing, I'm Toporinoing, I'm doing all of it with Keenan. I think it's you don't have to like it. No one has to like it. I had actually forgotten a key point that Matt brought up, which was that Keenan, because of the way the Chargers played when he got drafted, was a pure outside wide receiver because he was teammates with Antonio Gates. It's okay, well, you're not going to play in the slot when we have Antonio Gates, I think Keenan is just it's going to be the most inconvenient truth 6.5 target per game season in modern American history, I think.
Until he breaks. Everybody else on this list is second year or a rookie. And Keenan Allen is almost, Pat's age.
But at his cost right now, I believe he's the wide receiver 59. Pat's age.
Right?
Come on.
What?
He's
Can't
almost
say mine.
Stubbs' age.
No, he's not. I wasn't going to do that, and neither are you. But
Jacob,
what happened to playoff weeks?
You got to get there, brother. Do we want to argue about Isaac TeSlaa? Jacob is not here, so it would be a pale imitation.
What are we arguing?
Could have been.
What's the argument?
I just think he's a good pick. I think he.
Of course he is. Of course he is.
He's a good pick, not for actually, and I think I might even be able to get Jacob onto this reasoning. He's a good pick because I think he actually just has giga contingent value. I think he can score a couple touchdowns in this role he's in right now. But Hayden actually wrote this great article 2 years ago on the Underdog Fantasy, just their blog. And it was all about if you think about the way Best Ball Mania works, is you're trying to win in the multiverse that we are in. You know what I'm saying? There's all these infinite multiverses that can take place, but you want to win in the one we're in. So contingent value should actually be an even larger part of our process than it is, because it's so evident that guys are going to get banged up. Guys are going to get hurt. Roles are going to change. TeSlaa, I think he's probably just going to start over Tim Patrick right away.
Yeah.
J-Mo gets injured. Laporta gets injured. One of the big target earners on that team gets injured. And all of a sudden you're looking at okay, maybe this guy might average 4 receptions per game in the back half of the season. It's just at that ADOT. That's another thing is I want to be jamming in more of these high ADOT, low percentage play guys at the end, particularly on Underdog versus FFPC or DraftKings or whatever, because touchdowns are just so valuable.
Yeah, Andrew's saying it's the Pearsall bet from last year. It's not
exactly
quite. Pearsall was he was the first round pick and he's buried, but they're gonna first round pick. They'll see what they have at the end of the year, most likely. TeSlaa's different, I think. TeSlaa's it's closer to JCM or something, where he just comes in and he's the talk of Lions camp. And beat reporters who go there, they're dude, this dude's gonna have a role. I was listening to Ollie Connolly breaking down his tape and stuff, and they're so this I didn't know. Apparently, in the pre-draft process, TeSlaa was a guy that most of the film dudes never got to because he didn't play. But the league,
well, he had 29 receptions.
Yeah, he had 29 receptions. But
that's
league
JCM too.
Got really excited about him because of his basically the people who did watch him started to get excited about him, and there was kind of this thing of who's gonna make the move, right? Can we play chicken with this guy, or do we have to go get this guy? Because I guess that he's this big dude that you can use to kind of use as a run blocker and also kind of to stretch the field. And you can, and apparently he's been looking good in some kind of more intermediate stuff too. Anyway, the reach among the NFL teams, I don't think would have been considered much of a reach among us. What are they doing?
Well, they traded 3 thirds to go up and go get him. So that was probably a reach.
Absurd. Yeah. But it wasn't this completely out of nowhere pick within the league. And anyway, they were impressed with his film once they, knew to go watch it. So I don't know. It could be a guy who's playing right away. He's on a good offense. He can catch touchdowns. It's a much, much more exciting version of the De'Ami Brown bet,
Such a great way to explain it. Yeah. It's the De'Ami Brown bet, but not a guy who's been a proven loser for 4 years.
And a guy who hasn't really been drafted that much, and he's been drafted for a while now, but he's going to be less than half drafted.
Yeah.
Probably be 33% or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I'm still thinking about it.
I'm
still thinking about our main team. Just seeing Gordon and Henderson right up top. I mean,
I know.
Super sexy.
We did the Gordon thing already, but I do this. That's another one of he really was not drafted for a huge portion of the contest. And the 2 big things that you needed to take care of in season are gone. But Jalen Wright is gone the way of the dodo, man. If it was good, like it's over, it's done. Like he'll never matter again.
Gordon, excitingly, is on Pat's last call team, which we will get to.
Sheesh, man.
Here are the risers. Quick update on Dallas, seeing from Todd Archer and then commented on by Marcus Mosher, that they're putting 2 other players. We talked about Phil Maffa briefly on IR designated to return, one being Jonathan Mingo. So there might not even be room for Maffa to go to that designation. He might be just put on IR
teams,
for the year.
I mentioned this on my stream yesterday. Teams actually love to do this. They love to take a guy on day 3 and then find a reason to season-ending IR them because it keeps them in your building. You get to learn about like their work habits,
right? Red shirt,
and you just get to pure redshirt them, and there's like no roster penalty at all. They cost very little because I think what do you pay 50% of a guy's wages when they're on IR or something like that? Like you get paid a little less when you're on IR. Maybe I made that up, but I'm pretty sure
I don't think you do. That seems screwed up.
There's some cap machination benefit of being on IR, but basically the point is that you like it is very common. The Chiefs love to do this. The Chiefs love to keep like Sky Moore went on IR last year, not a rookie, but it just kept them from having to cut him. Tyjae Spears went on IR, by the way.
Season ending or
I assume that's the designated for return.
Designated for return. Yeah.
Man, that's big.
I mean, Pollard was always a jam, but is going to end up being an even bigger jam now.
Pollard or Brees?
Oh, Brees, come on.
It's still Brees.
Really? Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
I didn't.
I've been there's a difference.
I mean, he's been hurt for a while. This is like one of those things. Like, what are we going to triple count that Spears is hurt? Like he's been hurt.
Both round 5 in Kentucky. That's not
there is a pure, you know how like in finance you have buy walls and sell walls. If I'm in your draft, the 5th round is the buy wall on Brees. He's never getting past the 5th. I could have 4 running backs. I could have any combination. If I'm picking up 54 and Brees is there, I am just taking him.
In a Kentucky draft, I got him at 5'10". 5'10".
The most I would have is 3 running backs through 4, and it would be rare. But I would take Brees as my 4th running back in the 5th.
Yeah,
you can't stop me.
Yeah. Titans probably don't trade for a running back because they've trusted Julius Chestnut in this exact circumstance before, Pollard in, Spears out. And I think Pat's boy, to go all the way back to February fantasy football content, I think Mullings did enough in the preseason for them to be like, yeah, sure, whatever. We'll play Mullings.
Just gonna, cool. If you want it, the Kentucky big payback draft, it's $1,000 entry. That board, if you want to show it, Pat. If you don't, that's fine. But it's 3rd round reversal. I was team 3, and there's Brees Hall at 5'10". Saved my team. Didn't have a running back plan at all.
That's wow, Sharbs, dude. That's Sharbs 2 rounds ahead of Warren. I don't even think it's bad, but you could definitely tell that we did not draft this team with you, as evidenced by Javonte Williams and Christian Kirk being on it.
Right. One of the highlights, maybe top 5 of my fantasy summer, was listening to watching the main event that Pat and Pete did with Sean Siegel when he called Keaton Mitchell the best running back in the National Football League.
That was pretty fun, wasn't it?
That was pretty great.
Sean is pretty great. Dude, I've been engaging with a lot of Sean content. I was on vacation for 4 days and I downloaded a bunch of his RotoViz stuff on my phone and listened to Stealing Bananas. I mean, nothing is going to get me more excited for fantasy football season than engaging with Sean content. There was a point where he mentioned that Jaden Daniels will probably only have 2 or 3 seasons with 1,000 rushing yards and 10 touchdowns. And Gretsch was just like, well, that's never happened before in the NFL. And Sean's like, I know. So I didn't want to be crazy. I didn't want to say I'll do it every year. And it was just like, Sean is the GOAT.
There it is. All right. Fallers.
That was a good team, Schopp. I thought I like the Charbonnet pick. Charbonnet is I think is quite sneaky right now.
I thought it was a good weekend. It was my first time there, different format, and that was my first one. And I think I got better, but that has some potential. Bowers every time. Okay. Fallers, here's the Breece Hall, Tyjae Spears, IR, Davis reports. Devon Achane, Jalen McMillan, that's tough. Rashee Rice, Trey Harris, Quentin Johnston, Brandon Aiyuk, and Chris Godwin.
Dipperino slurping Aiyuk, just because. Is there going to be a better wide receiver 6 for you to have on one of these teams than Brandon Aiyuk? Like, it just what if I get?
You can take him at
130
games, all the time. He's available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even like Brandon Aiyuk.
Do you feel somewhat likewise about Godwin at his price at this point?
Frankly, I don't. I'm wondering if you guys can suss this out for me. What was your response to they're not going to put him on PUP, but he also probably is not going to play until week 5? What was your response to that?
I don't know that it meant anything. I mean, they want him to be at practice, which is weird because he's only been in the league forever. So I don't know if I don't think it meant anything contractually or monetarily. They're going to use a roster spot on him. Is that the most meaningful logistical aspect of it?
Yeah, they also waived Trey Palmer this morning.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he's closer to being healthy than we think. I mean, that could be an interpret, because the combo of McMillan probably not playing this year. Like, I'd be kind of surprised if he came back in week 10. Like, he has a neck injury. I just also, the way I think about it is probably with talking about the top arena with Igbuka. It's like, I don't know, man. He's probably just going to come back and then just be like the clear wide receiver 3 on this team. Whereas like Aiyuk, there are worlds where Aiyuk comes back and actually leads the 49ers in like target share when he gets back.
I don't know. I think that's too certain about an uncertain situation. Like
with Aiyuk or Godwin.
With both. I mean, we don't know that Ibuka's had a really good camp, but like he wasn't this amazing prospect. He's a good prospect, but he's not like this generational wide receiver prospect or anything. And Evans is another year older, and Godwin was the wide receiver 1 last year when healthy over Evans. So if he's healthy by week 5, 6, 7, he's the clear receiver 3. But if he's fully healthy by the end of the season, why can't he be the wide receiver 1 there? You know, or kind of co-wide receiver 1, where, you know, it's sort of spread out, but he's edging out the other guys. And Ayuk's injury, I think, typically is like a harder one to recover from. I mean, he is expected to miss more games ultimately, and might never be back to full speed this entire year because he tore multiple ligaments in his knee in a pretty devastating knee injury. So I don't know. I mean, I'm willing to take both when they fall for sure, but you're kind of just you're hoping the recovery goes well, and these guys are adding points down the stretch.
Okay, Keenan Allen, Brandon Aiyuk, and Chris Godwin are all there for you. You need a wide receiver 5 or 6. Just Godwin makes the okay. I will need to reconfigure because I've been passing on Godwin a lot.
The logic is sound on your point, Davis, like what it might mean, and the McMillan injury could be a tiebreaker on that, where they did want to take it slow. I mean, that team wants to win, right? You guys know that the Buccaneers have won the NFC South 4 years in a row.
I could have gotten 4 guesses on the team that won that division 4 in a row, and I don't think I would have gotten that.
And the last time they didn't
start with who won it last year.
Yeah, I mean, one of those.
I don't know if I could have pulled they won it last year. Like in my head, I've been like, I don't know, weren't the Falcons kind of good? Like who knows?
One of those Bucs teams was 8-9. You know,
one of them went to the playoffs. There's your clue. Who had a playoff game?
At home every year, and the last time they didn't win the NFC South, they won the Super Bowl.
All right. No, I mean it's good.
5 years ago. New Orleans did.
It's good to know, but I don't know, man. In terms of the way my brain works for trivia, I could not have gotten there.
All right. You know a lot. Spears reportedly is the first 4 games. So that's the IR announcement on him. Designated to return. Still. Pollard.
Crane, what are you doing with QJ, Trey Harris, KLS, Gadsden, like all these like tertiary chargers?
So Trey Harris, I actually started taking a little bit yesterday. Jordan Rodriguez hyping him up a little bit, and I was like, probably getting a little bit too week one brained with Harris now that he's available in the 170s.
Yep.
I wasn't drafting him much all summer. But let me go ahead and start mixing him in at these really cheap prices. So I'm starting to take him, and I think I'm going to do that in some of my BBMs to close out too. If he's gonna fall that far, betting on that is more the Pearsall bet. It's like, hey, he's a second round pick. They're going to see what they have probably by the end of the year. So
yeah, if he's a 15th round pick, I mean that's just like a prototypically good 15th round pick,
right? And I've taken the Jack Besh, pick. Plenty, but he's now kind of graduated out of the draft. He's like pretty much
although okay, what did we make of Amari Cooper? We have not met this. We're 90 minutes into the show.
Yeah.
Why did Amari Cooper sign with the Raiders? What is he retiring as a Raider? Is this
no? He's got incentives in the deal and stuff. It's a real deal. That was I saw that last night. Like right as I was about to go to bed, and then woke up for this show. So I've not like discuss what we do because it's Amari Cooper ultimately, but I think we're gonna have to treat him like a real receiver.
Goodness gracious, man.
There's a Jacoby Myers trade request to go with it.
That's
if they trade Myers to New England,
they're not.
This has crossed my mind. I have so much Pop Douglas. This would actually be devastating to me.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, you'd be done.
I'd be done. I just hang it up for the year, which maybe says I drafted too much Pop Douglas, but who can really say? But it does make Jacoby Myers more likely to be traded. This is what you would do if you were about to trade Jacoby Myers, is you would sign Amari Cooper.
I don't know, man.
It's Pete Carroll going, I remember Amari Cooper.
I feel like it's much more of that.
Schopp, what's your take on what Cooper has left?
Yeah. Well, I think, you have to sort of defer to what the league said, which was they stayed quiet. He was just sitting there all off season. What happened in Buffalo was like he looked slow, and they talked about his having a wrist injury, but I was always like, well, what does that have to do with his looking slow? And then the offseason came.
What does that have to do with getting open? Like, can you, because you have to hold your arm into your body? You can't like turn a corner.
A lot of press coverage, I think.
Yeah. I mean, the last completion of the Bills season was what, Davis? Before the Kincaid play was a pass to the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 10 screen to Amari Cooper.
Right. I mean, they just
I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. Schopp, I get a lot of off-season Josh Allen content because I watch a lot of golf on YouTube, and Josh Allen is buddies with all these guys. Like Josh Allen is like legitimately buddies with all the golf YouTubers.
Keith Mitchell is his guy when he plays in the Pro-Ams. Yes.
Interesting. I did not know that. And I get a lot of like, I just think all the time, he must just be so mad at the organization around him all the time. He just looks around the room and he's like, do you think he secretly hates McDermott? He's like, this is my coach, and I'm so good that I've kept McDermott from getting fired.
I used to think that. Like a couple of years ago, I thought that, but he just gives off absolutely zero of those vibes. He just has this perfect way about him with the media. He doesn't give off any sort of scent about like self-critical. Even with Diggs, I mean, they try so hard to talk about how much they love everybody where there's any sort of question about it. And that clearly was a strained relationship. But, I think he's convincing. But maybe I'm gullible. No, I used to think that, but I don't now.
I'm watching Hard Knocks. McDermott is not impressing me as far as his leader of menness. It's a tough show. It tends to be one of those things though where you're like, I guess this guy seems like an absolute clown, but I guess this is just what NFL coaches seem like. And then Frank Reich gets fired, the following year. You're like, oh yeah, he did sort of that speech about how you're climbing Mount Everest and we're at base camp now and we're going to move up the mountain was in fact dumb. I don't know. McDermott's not really. The only guy I've ever seen impressive on one of these shows is Dan Campbell. Where I'm like, all right, I would definitely want to play for this guy.
I'm hearing that it's the kind of lamest Hard Knocks season. Yeah,
it's so lame. It's so lame.
Even Liam said it was lame.
It's really bad Hard Knocks. They like were doing the preseason game like they're like in the third quarter, like they took the lead. Like, God, this is not what Hard Knocks is supposed to be. No one gives a shit about what the score of the preseason, and then have them like get on the bus because they lost, and it's like they lost like some big playoff game. Like, no one cares about the preseason results except these coaches for some reason. Like, just focus on who's going to make the roster. Give us some interesting stories about, like, the best they can do is KJ Hamler buying a kid's scooter, which was hilarious.
Yeah.
But come on, like, give us some intrigue about the roster battles.
The Giants spooked everybody. Might have ruined the franchise with the Barkley comment last year, and just like, we don't want that. McDermott told me that one of his terms was, I don't want them in my office. So I don't think you've ever seen him in his office. He said that was what he's like. I wake up in the morning and they're videotaping me brushing my teeth. That's weird. That's something you have to get used to. But I'm not. He said, I don't want them in my office. I'm not sure that matters, but that's what he told me.
Interesting.
Rashee Rice, Davis, what's your latest on Kansas City?
I mean, I just there's just so little clarity. I've got 2,000 fantasy football teams drafted at this point. Rashee Rice is on a bunch of them. So if he ends up really mattering, I probably have that base covered. So for these last 10, 15 days or whatever, I can let that be someone else's problem. And I can take Ridley. This is actually, I can take Ridley. Why? It was more like I can use this to get Xavier Worthy to the top of my exposure screenshot. At the end of draft season.
Not vain at all. Yes, that's what we want in the end. I'm trying to bury Marshawn Lloyd on mine.
I feel like the way that Dalton, we are all poisoned against Dalton Kincaid because of Liam. I feel like some people have Mattek derangement syndrome on Xavier Worthy, including myself, by the way, to some degree. To some degree, I'm like, isn't the fact that you are so confident this player is good maybe evidence that he's bad?
That's funny.
You're fading yourself?
Yeah. I've never been so confident that a player is undervalued in fantasy than Xavier Worthy, particularly in half PPR. I think in half PPR, Xavier Worthy is almost the perfect player. It's just man, I don't know. I just don't see how, Hayden has been of all people, Hayden Wings has been this is just so obvious that Xavier Worthy should be a top 24-ish pick. And he just won't. There's a sell wall on Xavier Worthy.
I love that you're going to make the click on Xavier Worthy. This is so sick. And then right as you go, you're like, what? Do I like him too much?
But I should probably take some Jackson Smith and Jigba first just to be safe.
So good. Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm the sell wall. I think Worthy's a solid pick, but it doesn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased because he's so tiny. I think it's because he's so tiny.
There are so many options.
Such a little.
So many options between.
He's a plastic bag floats through the secondary.
He's not even that tiny.
He's pretty tiny.
He's 10 pounds bigger than Devonta Smith.
Yeah, but Devonta Smith has this the Slim Reaper nickname is so perfect for him because when you see him out there, he doesn't he looks so skinny, but he doesn't look tiny. He doesn't look small. He's just super, super skinny.
I'll tell you, there are a couple plays that I think Chiefs fans would remember about Worthy to be we think this guy belongs. And there were a couple of them last year. One that I think really indicates that he is not too small. The Bills play? The Bills play was the Bills play was really good, but that was more about his ability as a wide receiver. I believe it was an end around against the Chargers. I don't remember who it was against, but he takes an end around and just gets popped full on, the safety, and he goes off onto the sideline and you're like, oh, well, that's it. That's his career's over. He was too small. And then he just jogged back out on the next play. And it's okay, well, that I wanted to see. I wanted to see him just get popped by a safety a couple times and get back up. I don't know, man. If you just look at the things that the Chiefs value, they value speed over size, and just all their picks since Tyreek Hill left have indicated. I mean, actually, honestly, even going back to Hardman, have indicated that. How about?
I'm watching him right now. He doesn't look tiny. Maybe I think I've shrunk him in my brain. He looks fine.
Many such cases. How about, by the way,
Mini
50
such
55 yards of air to the completion for Tyquan Thornton. That made me feel some things.
What are they doing playing their guys? And what is Kelsey doing on the field in preseason week 3? What's the point?
They always do this. They always do a dress rehearsal where you get at least a quarter.
Wow. Well, maybe one of these years it'll work.
I believe they've won their season opening game every year that Mahomes has played.
And they've won their last game a fair amount of times too.
They have.
QB news, if you're ready to move ahead. We've got Daniel Jones in Indianapolis. We really haven't talked about this, having had the draft last week and not doing a regular show. Joe Flacco in Cleveland. We don't know on New Orleans yet. Are you guys with the chorus? I think there is on how Daniel Jones is a huge win for their receivers and even Taylor.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a win. I don't think that when we were thinking about what could happen this summer, this training camp with the Colts, I don't think that this outcome is a particularly good one. Where you're like, what was the mood in Colts camp? What was the kind of the reports out of camp? Is it like both these guys suck? That was kind of the general vibe. It was like, Jesus, and so then Anthony Richardson gets the first start. He seems to actually have the lead. He can't pick up that protection. He doesn't understand what's going on. He gets himself hurt. The coaches are just like, God damn it, man. And then they're like, you know what? No, we're not going to give you the start. You got yourself hurt. We're going to give it to Jones, like we said. And then they give Jones a start. Jones has not looked particularly good throughout any portion of camp, but he's like, he can complete short passes. And they're like, he can kind of execute the offense sometimes. So let's just give him the job. We're going to say he's the starter for the whole year. That's what they said about Flacco last year, by the way, and then brought back Richardson. So they're full of shit. Like they're going to play both these guys because Jones stinks and Jones has stunk it up all summer. But the problem is Richardson also stunk it up all summer. So it's hard to be too optimistic here because they don't have a good quarterback. That seems pretty clear.
Corain is absolutely correct. The ideal thing for all of these options would have been for Anthony Richardson to win the job outright, right? I mean,
100%.
that's what we wanted. We wanted Richardson to add in his ability as a short passer to what he was able to do as a deep passer. He did not do that. So what you're hoping is you're hoping Michael Pittman Jr. is man, I was going to go Charmeleon of Malik Neighbors's, but he would be like he'd be the Magikarp of Malik Neighbors's, and that Josh Downs is able to be the Charizard of Wan'Dale Robinson's. That and that Tyler Warren, I don't know, is able to get 75 receptions as the Theo Johnson conglomerate.
Yeah, I mean, like this offense is really good outside of the quarterback. In the legendary Upside article, I had their bad version, the silent killer scenario, being that they tank it out and get Arch Manning to come to the Colts. That would be fun, You imagine like an actual quarterback on this team. That's like kind of ready made actually for a good quarterback. They just don't have one.
Why is Flacco not on this team?
I don't know, man. I really don't.
It's a huge bummer.
It's a big bummer. The supporting cast is awesome. The offensive line is good. It's not like dominant, but it's a good offensive line. Incredible supporting cast. And Jones apparently has not looked good all of training camp. He's just better than Richardson, who's looked worse.
I think
sad.
Yeah.
It is sad.
And by the way, I maintain, I'm standing here. Shuck might start, or Rattler might start, but Shuck is going to get more games. for this team for a couple reasons. First, being Rattler is not good enough to hold off a quarterback who might have any potential at all. Secondly, being this team is like, they're just terrible. And so if you're terrible, you might as well like give yourself a chance to see if there's something with Shuck before you take Arch Manning. But just give yourself the chance. Like there might be something there in Shuck. Maybe Shuck could be a cost-controlled quarterback too, right? You tried it with Rattler. Rattler's not very good. Like see what there is with Shuck.
Carson Steele released, by the way. Sorry.
No, the chat's been throwing that out there. That's a good note.
Wait.
No, we hadn't brought it up yet. It's something we should have mentioned already, is my point.
Yes.
The Vele trade, I think, is
terrible.
Yeah, of course, but it's gives you a window into the mindset of the Saints. Right, what a team that would do that isn't going to actually put up with a bunch of losses from Rattler. Yep. This is a team that for some reason thinks it's going to compete this year, and so I agree with Davis. I think Rattler is going to get benched. I think Shuck's going to play. Shuck might get benched too. Like this is probably a quarterback carousel here.
They did just waive Jay Kaner.
They waived Jay Kaner. Okay, so it's the two of them. But yeah, we probably see both of these guys kind of rotating in and out as
it could literally be like 3 Rattler, 2 Shuck, 2 Rattler. Like it could be they could both start 9 games in non-sequential order.
100%. And yeah, I don't know. They're going to be the whole year. They're going to be like, why can't we get production out of these guys? I just don't get it.
Here's one for you. Here's one for you.
Baffling.
Yeah, what's going on?
Will Shedeur Sanders make the 53?
Yes,
definitely.
They just traded Kenny Pickett, man.
That's right. Healthy scratch. Who's active?
Gabriel. Week 1, Gabriel.
Gabriel's the backup.
Yeah, I do think end of the day, Shedeur is probably going to start the money weeks because they will have worked their way. He's the quarterback 3, but they will have worked their way through the roster to the point where he's starting in the money weeks, which is so funny.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be Gabriel.
I'm basically saying I don't think that Gabriel is going to play that well because I'm intimately familiar with Dylan Gabriel. Watched a ton of him play. He's like the most low-level evolution of like Gardner Minshew that there could possibly be.
So they put out Shedeur Sanders in a preseason game and benched his ass for Snoop Huntley.
I was gonna say it's the lowest PFF grade I've ever seen for a quarterback. He got sacked 5 times on 12 dropbacks.
They straight up benched him for Snoop Huntley and cut Huntley the following day.
Yeah,
they said that they were planning to do that, but still, like he flipped out, right, Sanders?
I'm not sure what his reaction was, but to me, Stefanski was like, get this guy out of my sight. Like that's what we like. Who gets benched during a preseason game? I don't know. It's not. I don't think Sanders he's a long way from earning trust.
I was going to say, you know what it is like I would actually love if I was a GM to be able to like actually develop Shedeur, to like keep him on my roster for like 2 years and just like let him marinate and cook in my system. But you can't, because he's Deion's kid. You can't. They're just, everyone's too annoying about Shedeur. Like everyone involved is. Here's
what I think. We need a task force to go through YouTube, find the people who, when you said, I don't think Shedeur is live to go 101. I think it's going to be Cam Ward. I don't think Shedeur looks like he might be falling out of the top 3 picks. The people that just went absolutely ham in the comments section of every single YouTube video, all of March and April, we just get that you're off. You're off YouTube. You take a year.
You're off YouTube. You're actually just you're off. You're not allowed. You can't. You're off YouTube. You're in timeout.
It's the most egregious thing that's ever happened. These people that were like, "How could you even say this dude's a star?" Like this guy's getting benched during preseason games after going to the 5th round. Have you ever been more wrong about anything? This is crazy. The internet's been pretty wrong about some stuff. but this internet was one of your lowest moments.
That's fair.
Crazy.
Want to jump ahead to last call? Only 2 rounds left in the last call season this week and then next. And then we, as Pete put it, pass the baton to stat chasing, which will be great starting in 2 weeks once the season gets going. I've got one. If you guys don't, happy to wait my turn. Picks ADP 200 or higher.
Yeah, you should go because I'm debating between a couple guys. I need to make sure my guy's not been taken.
I'll take Alec Pierce, who just slid into the 200s.
Yeah, that's
maybe there's a trade there. There was some speculation about that. I don't know. Do I want that? Not sure I do, but
I'm trying to figure out position. Oh, Flacco, by the way, for me. Shout out. So I'm just like dead at tight end, which is an issue.
You're done with Gadsden already?
He was just not very good in the preseason. He actually ran a ton of routes. Like he ran a ton of routes and got 11 targets, which I guess is not horrible, but it's not very good either. I'm also feeling pretty weak at wide receiver. I'm trying to figure out.
I'm going to go if there's.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, if I can. I'll take Jalen Knoll if he's still available.
I believe he is. Yeah.
Ooh, he's in the 200s now.
Yeah. What
do you think of that? What do you think of that?
I mean, I think it's pretty good. Yeah. If I would have realized he was in the 200s, I would have taken him.
But are you how optimistic are you for him?
Oh, I'm pretty optimistic because I don't think Christian Kirk makes it through a whole season, and I think that the ADP gap between Higgins and Knoll is far too wide.
Yeah, it was kind of a throwaway comment. Albert Breer Davis, like you got me as bad as Pete got me. You got me worse when you were talking about what he should have done for the Best Ball Bros of me talking about random ass podcasts to listen to, because I then joked that I was listening to Rich Eisen, which is like not even in the rotation, but this is literally a clip from the Rich Eisen show that I saw. It's Albert Breer on Rich Eisen, and he was talking about Texans and where they're at, and he was like, "Those rookies are ready to go. Both those kids from Iowa State, like they're ready. They're gonna contribute." And I was like, you just don't hear that much about Knoll, and he's blocked by Kirk, but.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting that was kind of his impression coming from where the Texans are at, is that they're like the rookies are ready. So yeah, we could be sleeping here. We could be overly concerned about early season production on a rookie here.
I do like to hear that. Also, look at Schopp's running back room. My God, dude. I probably have rooms that look like this in teams I've just drafted, like in a team I drafted for serious.
Your entire running back.
They're probably
Crosky-Merritt, Eaton Mitchell, Brashard Smith, Corum Hunt, and then Maffa. I might have lost him today, so I might have to address that next week.
Yeah. So I'm trying to decide which.
My running back room is sick.
Shipley, Marks,
Gordon,
is a
Gordon,
Dylan Sampson.
Who
I got from Davis for Dylan Gabriel. I can't believe you guys are the integrity of the league. I can't believe you guys allowed that trade.
I wasn't here. I'm the integrity director. I was not here. Let the record show.
One of us would have had.
Would have had to put a stop to it. We'd have to have a meeting after to decide whether trades were allowable.
All right. Unless I am not reading the board correctly and missing a name, I will select Dameon Pierce, running back for the Texans.
Nice.
Sure.
I think he should be available. Yeah. So is that everyone?
How live is that? We talked about that a little bit, I guess, already.
I mean, not that live, but I should have done this less as a bit and more seriously, like taking Savion Williams as a bit, or or Elijah Moore. This is just.
I mean, how do you win the belt? You can't win the belt as a bit.
No, you can't. Should be a lesson learned. Yeah, that should be a lesson learned for me.
Jacob can send his in from the plane, I suppose.
I got Harold Fan on this team. My team's actually coming together here.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying it.
And if you are new or just have been watching almost every week and we just don't mention it, this is a game where we're looking for points in the playoff weeks. The points are the game is weeks 15 through 17.
I don't think we've explained this once since we started doing this.
No, it's never been explained. That's right. So shame on you, the viewer, if you didn't know how this actually worked.
Imagine tuning in for all of August.
No,
and never once
what are they doing?
Explain what this is.
The general premise is kind of self-explanatory. Good picks, 200 and higher. Yeah. But what are they actually doing? Are we building rosters? What are we doing? That's what
you have JCM. That is a huge smash.
He's got Brashard Smith. Brashard Smith's going to outscore JCM in the fantasy football playoff.
And he's got the best running back in football.
Phil Maffa?
I got
Mitchell.
The best running back in the NFL. I got away with Daniel Jones as well. Dante Thornton seems live too. I mean, he's probably a starter.
Yeah, I don't know. Amari Cooper probably not great for him, right?
No, Amari Cooper's nothing to do with Deontay Thornton.
He was good, Thornton.
Who is Amari Cooper to do with then?
Trey Tucker and Jack Besh.
Okay.
Cooper wasn't playing X for the Bills. He's the X was being held down by Keon Coleman and Matt Collins.
Once you turn however old Amari Cooper is, you get in where you fit in.
Yeah, so he's a Z receiver, which is what Tucker plays, and what Besh was like kind of hoping to play unless he had to take over from Jacoby Myers.
Mm-hmm.
So Deontay Thornton has been their starting X from like day one. He caught a touchdown from Geno Smith on a back shoulder. They see him, Geno's been talking him up. He's their big. He's like 6'3" and 4'3" something. And he's there to stretch the field, and maybe he can earn targets, and maybe he can't. That's the question. But he's not losing routes to Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper's not a big X receiver. Like, come on, Amari Cooper's a really old, washed Z receiver.
Too bad Jacob is not here to just go ahead and take Kenny Pickett for a Besh Cooper Raiders stack. I'll just throw that out.
I'm actually very disappointed that they didn't just go full in on the bit and just do Cam Miller and Tommy Millott as their backup quarterbacks, because they drafted both of them in the 7th round and they were both FCS. They played against each other a bunch in college. That would have been for your quarterback room to be Geno Smith and then 2 FCS running quarterbacks. Just would have been a truly hysterical bit, something I would have enjoyed seeing play out in the National Football League. I was bummed out.
Too bad. Coming up, Davis, there's an announcement on the Swolecast.
Yes, yeah. We did. We have a sponsor, I think. So we'll be announcing
nice
a sponsor, yeah. So probably one more year before Pete leaves us to go, work with Kay Adams and Cam Newton.
YouTube. Yes. What a cool thing. Let's congratulate him on that while we're here. What an amazing get that is. YouTube for Chiefs Chargers. He'll be in LA in the studio with Cam Newton and a bunch of things.
It's crazy shit, man. Isn't it? It's great. Like, congrats to Pete, and it's just so awesome. It's like,
yeah,
the graphic alone is kind of mind-blowing, where you're just like, because the thing I love about the graphic is that like the picture they chose, it's sort of like part of the vibe of it feels like a bit.
Yes.
But then it's also like so legit looking that it's not a bit. So like in your brain, you have both like, this is a bit and this is real, like kind of like fighting. It's really, it's like the perfect graphic for this sort of situation. But yeah, I'm excited for my brain to break as I watch Pete in studio doing national football broadcasts.
There's a world where Kay Adams might hear, "I'm just a slappy rapper, baby."
Let's hope.
Are you picturing now Kay Adams driving home from the studio
tapping her
singing
foot
to herself. Listen to Davis
Mattek, baby.
We're all going to be singing that now for a while.
There's a
After
world
this.
where Pete kind of goes into improv mode because he's on it.
No, there's not. There's a world. No, there's not.
No, listen to this. There's a world where Pete kind of is in improv mode and he lapses into one of his bits without really realizing. Like Derek Carr asks him a question. He goes, "Dude, save your word." And then he catches himself.
If Pete clears his throat, if Pete ever clears his throat on that broadcast, we know why. He was about
we
to do
know
the
why. Sorry.
Swolecast at noon Eastern today,
Yes.
Tuesday.
Yes, 15 minutes from now.
Pat, how much do you have left to do drafting wise? Like, both you guys, are you close to Davis? I saw you tweet about leaning into drafters a little bit. What do you guys have left?
I have like half the DK league. DK, their flagship. I want to max that. I've got about 80 teams I need to do there. I did 10 at a time yesterday and kind of psyched about the teams. So I'm going to do that again. And that's how I'm going to get there. I've got I think I have 19 Best Ball Manias left. I'm going to try to get the Rottweiler in if that hasn't filled yet.
It's not filled.
Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the Rottweiler Superflex today. I might multi-table some puppies. I doubt I max the puppy 4, but we'll see. No more slows, obviously, to enter, but I've got, I think, let's see, I've got like 250 slows left, I think. I have 254 remaining slows. I am on the clock currently in 60, and I've got 13 minutes left to make the first of those picks. So
okay, we'll get you out.
Yeah, I'll be making some slow draft picks in a few minutes.
I'm drafting with Pete tomorrow. He's got to finish up his as well. So my slot is 1:00 Eastern for a Best Ball Mania team with him. Yep. And I've got my WGR shows tomorrow. Steve Palazzolo will join me today, 3:00 Eastern, with all the cuts still to come. There'll be a lot of news left to parse through in the NFL. Pat, any other content you want to mention?
Well, the legendary running back article I got out yesterday. So please go check that out. It's completely free. And I also narrated it on the Legendary Upside podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. So yeah, I went through, did deep dives into the potential futures for these running backs, both negative and positive. I think it's a lot of fun. So, and then I also break down in the how to play it section what I'm actually doing with these running backs. I also am going to be finishing up my wide receiver article series this week on breakout wide receivers. Matt Irby had an article this morning, as we mentioned. He's going to have another one tomorrow on some offseason narrative stuff. And yeah, we'll have more content rolling out on the site, rankings, all that good stuff. LegendaryUpside.com.
Davis is like, wow, Mike got the call to draft one Best Ball Mania team with Pete. Like, welcome to the majors, Mr. Schopp, right? I mean, that was your reaction there is, this is the big time.
Yeah, so the thing is I'm in the same situation as Pete. I have 25 Best Ball Mania drafts left that I have to stream this week. So I'll basically, if I'm not on a show with someone else, I'll be drafting on my own. Crane, you have time this afternoon? You want to come on?
Yeah, I could jump on.
Okay. All right. I will message you.
Look how easy it is. Look how easy it is.
What I had something else to say. We have a main event sometime soon with
Crack Rock.
We got to stream ship chasing tonight, right?
Do we? Am I needed for this one?
No, I don't think. I think it might be with just Gretch Leone and me and Pete.
Okay, cool. Because I did not have that on my.
Noble of you guys to continue drafting main event teams after hours. I mean, you might as well try to win your league.
I have my main with Silva, Thorman, Reeves, and JJ tomorrow. I have a silver bullet. It's on the NFFC with Leone. I've already done 15 puppy drafts this morning, and I did 2 DK Best Ball Millie Makers while we were doing the show. Shout out to the sidekick. I think I might get 3,000 drafts in, maybe 2,500 over the course of the year.
That's awesome.
It has to be done.
Davis is drafting teams while we're talking, and I'm worried about sipping a beer. All right.
We are. It is tonight. Tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. Ship chasing. We are going to do a big payback, the 5K big payback with Mike Leone.
Can you
Very
highlight
cool.
Chris's comment here? Chris Mazzone's comment. It's 3 up.
Yeah. No, that's Mac Noah.
It's easy to get 3,000 drafts in with site credit. You know what? I'd like to amend my answer. That actually was the best bit. The best bit was the dungeon dweller.
Because the face distortion was perfect.
It was.
I was like, that's just
every part of it.
I don't know how this is some accuracy to this that was impressive.
I thought the Trump part was incredible.
I saw someone. The integrity protector.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
A colleague of mine is in the video receiving the literal Medal of Honor. He's David Bellavia, who works at WBEN here in Buffalo on the radio next to me. He is in the beginning. That is a shot of his Medal of Honor presentation. And then later on, he's removed. Maybe there's different Trump clips there, but it was cool to see.
That's funny.
David in there.
Good.
That's it. One more next week. Sure, we'll have Jacob back for Pat, Davis, Mike, ADP chasing. See you later.